The Detroit Lions are going to win the NFC North next year in 2023. They're going to be in the running against the Minnesota Vikings. You know, I could see the scenario where the Bears make it to the playoffs and the Vikings miss out on the playoffs entirely altogether. The Lions are going to win the division on January the 7th. The Lions are going to make the playoffs 7 years later from 2016. The Lions are going to win their first division title in 30 years. The last time the Lions won the NFC North, which in 1993, the Lions won the NFC North with a 10-6 record over Minnesota and Green Bay. They're going to win 30 years later. The NFC North 30 years later, it's Cowboys. That's Camacho 30. Dan Campbell is coach. He's a Texas native. A Texas native can lead the Lions to the playoffs. The 1993 season, which saw the Lions last make it to the playoffs, the winner of the Super Bowl that year was the Dallas Cowboys when they defeated the Buffalo Bills over at Georgia. So that year the Super Bowl was played on the 30th day. The Dallas Cowboys' last Super Bowl championship occurred in 1996, but nonetheless, the last time the Lions won the NFC North, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl over the Bills. That is my Super Bowl matchup. And interesting enough, when the Lions were in the postseason as the home team, they lost 28-24. The Packers scored 28 points that game. Now, when the Cowboys win the Super Bowl again, they're going to win the Super Bowl 28 years later because, of course, Dallas, Texas is 28, and Texas is the 28th admitted state in the Union. But look at the 24 points for the Lions. Lions is Camacho 24. They will beat Minnesota for the division title. Dan Campbell's 38, Minnesota 38. Jared Goff, the quarterback. Jared is Camacho 38. You take a look at Dan Talika, you take a look at Dan Campbell. His first win as coach of the Lions occurred against the Vikings. And then his latest win to play at home for the first time in years is going to also happen against the Vikings. So the 13th game of the season, he won for the first time, Dan Campbell, by beating the Vikings. This would be the Lions' 19th playoff appearance. They have 18 prior playoff berths. The Super Bowl is at Vegas this year. Vegas is 18. A former quarterback of the LA Rams is going to lead the Lions to the playoffs. LA Rams is 19. Dan Campbell, Dan is 19. His first win after 0-1-10 start. The Lions will be in the playoffs sometime later. Notice Dan Campbell became coach of the Detroit Lions in 2021, January of 2021. So that's going to be 36 months there. 36 months. And of course, Nevada is the 36th admitted state in the Union. That's where the Super Bowl is going to be played at. And the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl 28 years later. They were last in the playoffs against the Green Bay Packers. It is Packers, that's Camacho 28. They'll be in there again this year. When the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl, the Cowboys are going to be the number 1 seed. Will they face off against the Cowboys? Well, that's a whole other different question. The Lions somehow win a game at home in the wild card round against a team that's going to go to Michigan. So the Cowboys is Camacho 45. Miami is 45. Dan Campbell was coach of Miami before heading over to Detroit. The last time the Lions made the playoffs, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. The Cowboys is Camacho, Jared Goff. So Goff gets the Cowboys. That's interesting. I think we need to take a look at Jared Goff quickly. Now, Jared Goff, he made it to the Super Bowl at Atlanta, Georgia in Super Bowl 53. Last time the Lions made the playoffs, the Super Bowl was held at, you guessed it, Atlanta, Georgia. I should say the last time the Lions won the division. The last time the Lions won the division, the Super Bowl is at the Georgia Dome. That's also the same site where the Jared Goff last made the Super Bowl in 2019. And Jared Goff last played a playoff game against the Seahawks. The Seahawks and Packers. Seahawks just come out to 24, his last playoff win against Seattle in the wild card round. And of course, he lost to the Packers in the divisional round, and then the trade for Matthew Stafford. So the Lions are gonna make the playoffs next year. They're gonna beat Captain Kirk. Cousins is Gamacha 28. They allowed 28 points in their last playoff game at home. The Lions, they're going to beat Kirk Cousins to play their first playoff game since the Packers back all the way in the 93-94 season. So are the Lions going to win a playoff game? 3-3 record. They could face off against the Dallas Cowboys. Will Cowboys be number 1 seed? I don't know about that if they're the home team, but just an idea of what could happen. Goff could be 3-4 as the former quarterback of the LA Rams. So it remains to be seen. 7 games, 3 wins. Last home playoff game against the Packers. It all depends on which matchups are better for the league. So let's stay tuned with too early to answer if the Lions are going to win a playoff game, but they're going to be hosting a home playoff game for the first time in ages. So let's see. Going to Dan Campbell right there. 17, 17, 17. 51 games, a 52nd game in the playoffs. Los Angeles Rams, where Jared Goff came from. That's worth noting too. Silverdome. Well, Silverdome is Gamacha 122. I'm not sure if Kirk Cousins' last playoff game with the Vikings occurred against San Francisco, so looks like Kirk Cousins could be traveling to the Cousins, of course, is going to lose to the Lions, and the Bears, I think, are going to be aided. They're going to be helped out a little bit. Too early to tell. Too early to tell. But it remains interesting to see what is about to happen right there. But as far as playoff games since that time, this was their last home playoff game. Their next home playoff game 30 years later. The Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. Now the Lions' last playoff win, that was against the Dallas Cowboys. That was 1991. 1991 NFL season. And what if they're going to do it their next playoff win 32 years later? Interesting. They could win a playoff game after Minnesota. Minnesota's 38. It remains very interesting for the Lions if they can end up doing this 32 years later for their next playoff win. We've seen it with the Bengals. I don't know about the Lions. We'll have to find out. Campbell is also Gamacha 28. Dan Campbell, last home playoff game against the Packers. Cowboys win the Super Bowl 28 years later. Cowboys win the Super Bowl the year that the Lions last won the Super Bowl. So, lots of 28 to see here. Coach Campbell is Gamacha 1994, last Lions home playoff game. Coach Campbell's 49, Dallas 49. Remains to be seen if the Lions will face the Cowboys. All depends on the matchups in the bracket once we get to January. So it will be 5 division titles and 4 conference titles for the Lions. That's Gematria Vegas. That's Gematria 5. That's the let's see. 5 division titles, 4 conference titles, 4 conference titles, 5 division titles. Miami, Gematria 45, the Cowboys 45. So obviously, even if the Lions face off against the Cowboys, they're going to lose against them. But the Lions will be hosting a home playoff game 30 years later with Coach Dan Campbell.